Okay, so we're going to continue our series on precalculus, and this is the fundamentals. We've defined our real numbers, okay, and then we've been able to prove, okay, certain numbers are real. Right? So now that we have a definition of real numbers, we should know properties of real numbers so that we can properly manipulate them. You have three very basic properties of real numbers. The first one is your commutative property. Commutative. Then you have your associative, and then you have your distributive property. Your commutative property, okay, in addition, says that a plus b is the same as b plus a. Okay? So, in other words, if you take a number a, such as 3, and you take a number b, such as 4, okay, it's the same as taking the same number and reversing the order. Okay? So you're going to get 7 here, 7 on the left, and you're going to get 7 on the right. It does not matter in which order you add numbers. It could be 5 plus 2 or 2 plus 5. Either way, you're still going to get 7 on both sides. And that's the additive commutative property, right? And then you have, for multiplication, you have a commutative property as well. Okay? Well, multiplication is, sorry about that, multiplication. Okay? And that's saying that a times b is the same as b times a. Okay? So if you take a number a, like 3, and multiply it by a number b, such as 5, it's the same thing as taking the number 5 and multiplying by the number 3. Okay? You're going to get 15 on both sides, regardless of the order it's in. Okay? So you can try this with any number if you're not convinced. 3 and 4, okay, and 4 and 3. Okay? You're going to get 12 on both sides, always. Right? And this property here, and the other ones as well, applies not just to these simple, really, really extremely simple cases. It applies everywhere in algebra, in precalculus, in calculus. So it's a very useful skill to understand. Then you have your associative property. Your associative property of addition, okay, says when you have a number a plus b, this is a quantity, when you add c to it, it'd be the same as if you had a number a, okay, and you added that to the quantity b plus c. So you see these parentheses here shift, but it does not matter, right? 3 plus 2 plus 1 is the same as 3 plus 2 plus 1, right? The parentheses may shift, but you have the same thing. Okay. Then you have multiplication. Multiplication. So what's the associative property of multiplication? The associative property of multiplication says you have quantity a times b times c is the same as a times b plus times c. So if you had, let's say, 1 times 2 times 3, you would get the same as 1 times 2 times 3. It does not matter in which order you add a number or multiply the numbers, you're always going to get the same answer. Okay? So what's the difference really between commutative and the associative? Okay? Well, here we have 2 numbers, and here we have 3. Okay? And then distributive, which is the one you might probably use the most, or the one that gets confused the most. Okay? And this is important because it shows how addition and multiplication interacts. Okay? So the distributive property, break this term down, distribute. Right? You distribute A to B, and you distribute A to C. So you do AB plus AC. Okay? So A times the quantity of B plus C is the same as AB plus AC. Okay? Or it's the same as saying first multiply A times B, okay, and then add whatever you get to A times C. Okay? We're going to plug some numbers in there so it makes a little bit more sense. So if you have 3 times 4 plus 2, okay, what do you get? So you distribute the 3 to the 4, you get 12. 3 times 4 is 12. And then you distribute the 3 to the 2. Okay? You get 6. So you see the interaction between multiplication and addition, right, very easily with the distributive property. And this brings up FOILing, right, which you will use later in the course. But these are the 3 basic properties of real numbers.